Okay, today is the 2nd of March. Okay, so we have here beautiful triangle, which is Z, Y, X. And we have A and B sort of like that. Okay, so we're going to prove that XA plus XB equals XY plus XZ. Right? Okay. Now, just looking at that, that seems miraculous to me. Okay, right? We're proving those two things going to be equal. Okay, if you look at them, you can say, well, if I were to add these two vectors together, it's sort of XZ, XY. Okay, maybe that could equal A plus B, but it's not real obvious how that's going to work. So, can somebody that was here yesterday or wasn't absent the last 2 days show me, please, what the first step would be to probably solving something like this? Bailey, go ahead.
When you change, I changed the left side to
Yeah.
the right side.
Right, so what we're probably going to do is you're going to change or express, this is what I wrote yesterday, I think, right? Express XA in terms of XZ. And I'm just going to write this out in full here so we can see. All right, now I could have used XY, but I'm going to say now, for those who weren't here, I want to make sure this is clear. Can someone other than Bailey tell me, please, what XA is equal to, please? Yeah, go ahead.
XA equals XZ plus CA.
Yeah, so I'm going to go here. So this vector right here is going to equal XZ plus ZA. So XA equals XZ plus ZA. Is everyone okay with why I chose XZ here? All those questions or answers? Go ahead.
Did you intentionally do it so you could avoid XB? Because since we're using it for the other one?
Yeah, exactly, right? So, I mean, I could have, the thing is, yeah, you could have chosen this over here, but then there would have been more things to get rid of and all that. XZ is the closest to XA, that's why I chose that one. Okay, yeah, Jack, go ahead.
On tests and assignments, do we have to include the express statement? Or can we just...
You should write somewhere, you don't write express, but you should write here somewhere what XA equals.
Okay.
So that it's very clear to me. Like, pretend this, I always joke to pretend you're showing this to your grandmother. Okay, right? Okay, you could say, well, XA, I shouldn't have to guess where you got things from. Okay, if that makes any sense. Okay, so what's the next thing? What am I doing with XB then? I'm just going to play along. Go ahead, Tim.
XB equals XY plus YB.
Very good. And for the same reason, whoops, right? On the left-hand side, I started with an XA. I got an XZ. On the left-hand side, I started with an XB. I ended up with an XY. All right? Yeah?
So would you try something in like that for XA and XB?
Right on. Right on. So what we're going to do then, we're going to say then, therefore, XA plus XB equals XZ plus ZA plus XY plus YB. Okay, we want to have it equal to this. This is what we want, right? We want it to equal to the right-hand side. Why am I sort of happy here? Why is it sort of starting to look good for me? So I want you guys to think of this like identities from grade 11. Why is it starting to look good? Garrett, go ahead.
We've got the XZ and the XY,
Yeah.
and the other two cancel.
Yeah, we have these right here. All we got to do is cancel the last set. Okay? So I'm just going to write this out and pretend like we don't know what we're doing here. It may or may not be true.
We had to write all this whenever we're explaining our test.
Well, you have to write this somewhere that I know what's going on here, okay? Just because because the one you'll get on the test, you'll do one, and I don't just want you to say therefore left side equals right side and you're done. Because that's what some people would say, no, I don't mean to look at you when I say this, but I want you to fully show and express things out there when that happens, okay? All right, so I heard Derek say ZA is equal to YB. Why is ZA equal to YB? Somebody than Derek. Yeah, go ahead.
Because on the diagram, that's like the lines to show they're equal.
Yeah, so they're the equal magnitude, but ZA isn't equal to YB, it's equal to what? Yeah, BY. So I'm going to say then equals XY plus XZ plus BY plus YB, which equals XY plus YZ. Okay, because they're pointing in the opposite directions, they have the same magnitude, right, so those just cancel out. Are we okay with the logic of what happened there? Because there will be one question, this isn't a huge part of your test, but there will be one question like this on your test, where you get some sort of diagram and you have to prove the different things are true. Is there a question there back there or no? Yeah, right else?
So, you don't necessarily use a negative, you can just say by.
You can say by is fine. Like b, or you can call it negative yb if you want to, or by, either one of those will be fine for canceling it. Yeah, go ahead.
Would ideally be able to cancel like that?
Yeah, because we're saying like if this and this, because basically what I did was I said, well, this and this is what we had, then I changed it to this is equivalent to this, right? So therefore, a vector pointing this way and a vector pointing this way are going to just be zero.
So there would be at the same line.
Yeah, not, well, I mean, if I tell you they're the same length. There was one from last night's homework that said like midpoint was one of the questions, number 6, and midpoint again would, you know what I mean, tell you it's the same length. All right, I'm going to get to the lesson if that's okay. Sorry if you're a physics student, but please, if you're reading the book, please try and focus a little bit here if you could. I'd appreciate it. I'm try not to make eye contact with people. I will do my, do you guys want the assignment first? No, you guys just do the assignment.
Yeah, use that.
No, it's not the assignment. The assignment is right here. This assignment is a lot shorter than last week's. Okay, this unit is a lot shorter, the assignment's a lot shorter. There's 10 questions, but there's not like A, B, C, and D, and all that sort of stuff. There's 10 questions there. Okay, now I was told you guys did this lesson yesterday, but this is probably one of the most important things as far as vectors goes. Okay, so we're going to say any vector can be resolved into rectangular components. We're going to say any vector v can be written as v equals vh plus vv, and this is what I mean. So there's vector v, there's vector h, and there's v right back. Let me get out of the way here for a sec. Okay. So all we're doing this to is breaking a vector into its x and its y components, its horizontal, its vertical, whatever you want to call it. It all sort of means the same thing. The reason this is important for us is because we're going to get to three-dimensional vectors in the next unit. Okay, so you can also break vectors into x, y, and z components when we get into that. Okay. I'm going to go to the next page if that's okay, and I'm just going to say both of these can become both of these. Can be obtained using SOHCAHTOA. Okay. Just a quick reminder, what does SOHCAHTOA stand for? Back to grade 10. Who's in my grade 10 class? Caleb, you're in grade 10 class. What does SOHCAHTOA stand for, please?
It's like the sign goes, oh, like when you, like the,
Okay.
the opposite hypotenuse.
Good, yes, good. Close to the adjacent hypotenuse and tan is opposite of adjacent. Okay.
There we go.
Thank you. So guys, you're fine. You're fine. Here we go. So we're going to say we'll do example 1 here if you don't mind here. What are the horizontal and vertical components vector V equals 121 kilometers north, 38 degrees east. I will do this one for you, then I'll give you one to try yourself in a minute here, okay? So what's going to happen is for this one, when it says write the horizontal and vertical components, meaning we're going to say, this is like the long way of doing it, okay? So instead of going right from me to Caleb, all I'm saying is I can go this way here, and then turn that way there to get to Caleb. You see the difference, right? So instead of doing the straight line, I'm just going to break this into north-south, the distance from north-south and the distance from west-east. Right? That's the logic that we're using here. Why would that be useful to me to do? Like, why would I need this? Cars, all sorts of things, yes. Go ahead.
So if you have multiple vectors,
Yeah.
you can find the net equation.
And that's exactly what we're going to do here. See all those diagrams you've been drawing and you've had such a hard time with the diagrams? I'm looking at certain people because you guys know what I'm talking about, right? And I draw all these diagrams, you gotta get the internal angles and find out north, 20 degrees west and all that. And it's hard to figure out the angles. With components, all you have to do is you can find is add all the north-south ones together, add all the east-west ones together, and that'll give you a result. Okay, so it's a lot nicer. Plus, if you have to add 3 vectors, or 4 vectors, or 5 vectors, like you do in your assignment, okay, you can't do 5 vector trigonometry very easily. Let me rephrase, you can, but it will be very difficult. Okay, so it's a lot easier to do like this. So I'm going to draw a quick picture here, which is going to be north 38 degrees east. Excuse me. And there's 121 kilometers. Okay. Now, the nice thing about this is that, again, we're always going into right angles here, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this as going north here. This is going to be my vertical. And if you want to call it GY, that's fine. I can live with that. Okay, so everyone see what we're doing there? You're taking, again, you're going from a hypotenuse to the other 2 sides of the triangle. Okay?
Can you not do it the other way?
What's
Or you
that?
have to go north first?
No, you could have gone this way if you want to. I just chose this way because 38 was inside the triangle. You see what I mean? So otherwise you would have used 60 or 52, right? That would have worked too. So again, question here, Bailey says she likes her triangle to look like this. That's okay too, you'll still get the same answer. This is a little easier because we have the 38 included in there. Okay, so I'm going to click on somebody to be brave here right now. Back from grade 10, how do I solve VH? Back from grade 10. Derek, I'm sorry, I got to pass. I'm sorry. Chris, be brave, you can do it. Go ahead.
And so could someone use the first one, so sine?
Yeah, okay, so it's going to be opposite over hypotenuse, right? So we're going to say, just let me go all the way back to grade 10. We're going to say sine 38 equals magnitude of VH over 121. So magnitude of VH equals 121 times sine 38. I'm sure there's some physics rule that you always use sine for horizontal or something. Is there a physics rule that says that?
Triangle.
I know, that's why I don't like saying always, okay, right? So I draw it out. Are we okay on how that came about? Okay, great. So what's VH supposed to be? Somebody gonna take out there? Oh goodness.
74.5.
Good, I'm glad you said that at the end there. Now, the nice thing about these vectors is that there's no angles to them, right? They're either north, south, east, or west. And that's the beautiful thing about them. All right, it makes it a lot easier to deal with. Can somebody else tell me, please, be brave, and tell me how to find V squared, if you will. Go ahead.
You use
Cosine, that's all I'm going to say. Cos 38 equals magnitude of VV all over 121. Magnitude of VV equals 121 times cos 38. Can I get somebody new to take with their calculator? Maybe James, since you don't. Is your beard 1 year old yet?
7 years old.
More than 1 year old? Oh, we'll get you on the announcement. Your beard on the announcements too. So what's James? Can you tell me what 121 times cos 38 is, please? I once grew a mustache for a month. It's called November. Anyways, right, go ahead. So you confirm? 95.3? Huh? What is it, 95.3? Okay.
Wait, so it's the absolute value on the top, but it's not the absolute value too, it's just control.
Yeah, so what I did, I used absolute value for both those, like for magnitude, right? It's not absolute magnitude, right? So I'm just losing the distance. I only at the very end put the direction in there, okay, because we're going north. Is this all relatively good for people so far? I'm looking at the people that have taken physics here, the idea. So I know if you've done physics, you're yawning right now and saying, I wish I would have skipped to read my English book. Okay, right, but for everyone else, everyone else here though, okay, we're feeling sort of okay with this? Yes? Okay. Here we go. Example 2. Says using components. If vector u equals 14 kilometers per hour, so 30 degrees west, and vector v equals 21 kilometers per hour, south 18 degrees east, what is u plus v? Okay, I'm going to hit pause in the video and let you guys get started. What you are going to be doing is breaking both of those vectors into components. If you know how to combine them, combine them. If you don't, wait and we'll do it together. Okay, so your job is to break u and v both into components. You can either call it, I'm probably going to in mine call it ux, uy, or you can call it uh, uv, either one of those works fine. And then vv, vh, or vx, vy. Okay? All right, I'll hit pause in the video.